Okay, greetings and welcome everyone to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. I am your host, Ankh Rising Sun. Your co-hostess tonight is Miss Bliss Deborah. I want to let you know we're going to have a fantastic show with Chief Nighthawk and Nicky Monty. So at this time, the Aquarian brother Chief Nighthawk, he's stepping forward as we move through the digital jungle, and I guess Nikki will fall in not too far behind him. But as always, let us begin with the opening invocation.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. Success is your destiny. Yes. Love, wisdom, power. Remember always who you are. Yes. Yes. I am love, wisdom, power. Yes. Yes. I am love. Yes. Power. Yes. I am yes, I am love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am love, wisdom, power. Master. Yes, I am. Yes, love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Say yes to yourself. Yes, I am protected. Yes, I am master. I am relaxing.
Now, this is the second time that I've actually put the primary Harlem invocation after the initial invocation, and so let's start up with our co-host Baraka.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
I want to thank you, Brother Baraka. He's not with us at the moment. He's doing a planetary overview on his scout ship. So before we proceed further, I'm going to call on our ascended master ancestors to navigate this show because this will be acoustical fire of healing. I am in me. I am in Nicky Monty. I am in Chief Nighthawk. I am in Miss Bliss Deborah. I am in Baraka. I am in you, the listening audience, now and in the future. We collectively call in the name of love the ocean of all I am in me, in you, throughout eternity. Yes, I am forgiving all living souls in this lifetime. And yes, I ask all living souls in this lifetime to please forgive me. Yes, I am forgiving all past lives and all souls from past lives. And I ask all souls from past lives to please forgive me because we don't remember. And with that being said, I call upon Saint Germain, Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrahim, Simeon Toko, the latest Christ born in the Congo, who invoked an army of black bulletproof muscle-bound angels that turned over the colonists' tanks and heavy guns and machinery. We welcome you to the platform, Simeon Toko. Want to thank the presence of Archangel Michael to surround all our friends, family, and loved ones throughout all the cities in the world. I want to acknowledge South African Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa, who moves through dimensions. Thank you for your service, and we ask that you be upon this platform. Call upon Dr. Sabi, Master Kalindi Aye, Dr. George Washington Carver, Harriet Tubman, who used shrooms to see the slave catchers in the dark, Mary McLeod Bethune, Black Madonna, Mother Mary, Yahshua, Melchizedek, Enoch the Ethiopian, who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron, Elijah. We call upon Chief Geronimo, Chief Osceola, Chief Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, Chief Seattle. We call upon Nat Turner, John Brown. We call upon Angel of Enlightenment, Archangel Uriel, be with us. Call upon Nikolai Tesla again. Thank you for your technology downloads. And we call upon Wilhelm Reich, who also harnessed the ancient future technology of Chemetz orgone energy. I want to also invite the masters of comedy that we know of and beyond this lifetime. Call upon the Buddhas, Krishnas, to be with us on this platform. Elegba, Oshun, goddess of love, known by many names. Yemaya, Mother Ocean. All upon Ologun, Oya, Shango, Obatala, Ogun, Ochosi. We welcome you to be with us on this platform and thank you. We acknowledge you with love and gratitude. Yes, we call upon Master Himalaya, the enlightened beings who live in the hollow of the earth. We acknowledge you and welcome you in the bliss stream of vibratory sound to be with us, surround us, elevate our hearts, minds, bodies, souls, and light bodies. And together we say, Ashe, Mahalo, Tonada, Wado.
Ashe.
Tahoe.
All right, y'all. We got a lot of folks giving acknowledgement to the audience. Let's see a few of them right here. We got C. Diggs. We got Des Smiths. Oh, that's Sandman. Sandman, it's good to see you.
Sandman, hey.
Good to see you in the audience, Sandman. We got, let's see, Stephanie, Lakeisha. We got Stan Jones. Want to thank you for Quartz. Aloha Royals, big up. Nicky Monty, Nicky Monty, Nicky Love, Nick Me Cut Me Forever. That sounds like some acoustical tantra there, Nicky. I don't, you're gonna have to describe what that means, but we're gonna move to the next acknowledgement. Okay, thank you. Awakening Goddess. Okay, you call out the names, Deborah, so I can work this trackpad here.
Balance is key. Welcome. Noble Nuth Atum. I don't know the rest of that name. Well, thank you, everything.
That sounds very quantum.
Stephen Williams.
From Chicago, Chi-Town.
Ethan's dad.
Yeah.
Timotis Magic.
Yeah.
Timotis is magic. Bliss Folade.
All right.
Did I pronounce that right?
All right.
I think that's it, right?
That's it for now. So, all right, we're going to have an interesting mix between Nighthawk and Nicky. In the beginning, I remember back when they was indoctrinating us with the colonized version of the Bible, not the Ethiopian version. In the beginning was the Word. What does that mean, Nikki? Tell us what the beginning of was the Word. What is sound all about?
Well, I want to say thank you for having me here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you, but pull that mic up a little bit more because we
Mhm.
want to hear all your subtle tones.
Yeah, because I'm trying to make sure that the gain is not all the way up because I have two mics set up. But peace, everyone. I'm Nicky Monty. I'm a sonic alchemist, and my interpretation of in the beginning there was the word is vibration, frequency. So for
Mm,
me, that equates to sound and light, which is the first thing that touched the universe. So that's how I
mm,
equate it. And with the instruments that I do use, I honor them and understand that this is medicine for me. And when I think of in the beginning, there was a word, wherever or however that word oscillated through the universe, it created everything.
mm. So let's put you right here in the middle when we're in that kind of format. And thank you for your words, Nikki. Chief Nighthawk, for
Yes.
all the audience that may not have met you before and they haven't read the show description,
Ucha.
tell us who you are, man. Tell us what you're rocking with.
I am Chief Icon of the Yamasee, sitting medicine man of the Yamasee, traditional medicine man, and meaning that I work with all different type of medicines, from earth medicines to plant medicines to animal medicines. I do like, yes, in the beginning was that word, and the word was sound. Having witnessed the development of that, it was a three tones that came together that produced light, and from that light produced everything. So
Wow.
um, that's a little bit about who I am. I'm a lot. Besides the medicine man, I like to call myself an artist, um, because I am an artist. I create a lot of different things as well. So
Yeah.
yes.
All right. We're going to have fun tonight. So coming back to you, Nikki, if you, where did she go? Come on back, Virgo. Come on back. We're trying to pull you up to the
No,
front.
I'm still here. I have my children,
Oh,
so I'm trying to make
you
sure they're okay.
multitasking.
Yes.
Yeah. So those pretty circles behind you, what is that?
Well, I'd like to introduce you to grandfather. This is
Oh,
one of my, well, this was my third gong. And grandmother is right behind. That's my second gong. So I wanted to present grandfather today. And I have three other gongs in here. Let me see if I could turn it just a little bit this way. So behind this gong is another one, and that's Lema. That's all bronze. And then above that on another stand is mother, which if you look at this gong and the rawness of it, every gong looks like this that comes from China, specifically Wuhan. And this is straight out of the fire, unlathed. And this part right here is more bronze and it is lathed. So they scrape it, they polish it, and this is what makes this gong so unique. And over here, all the way, well, on this side, this is the sun gong or the feng gong. So any flat gongs that come from China are feng, Feng, or if they have a lip or what we call a rim, that produces deeper tones and a different type of resonance. So it gets to stay, it's more bassy. And these are my, well, sound is a master tool that I utilize for healing. And these gongs are so powerful and profound. Like I'm so excited to share because it has transformed my life. And I chose specific size gongs to do specific things. They oscillate at different frequencies and they produce the results for me in my ceremonies or my sessions and awakening. So they're, when you listen to something so grand and profound as these gongs, what happens is that there's significant changes on a cellular and a spiritual level. So this is what gongs do. And if you remember, if anyone was watching the stock market opening in February, in China, they have a gong, a chow gong, which has an unlathed portion in the center, the polished bronze middle, and then on the outside, it's an unlathed, similar to this. So in the center of this, it would be dark, and that's a traditional chow gong, and they ring it really hard 3 times. to celebrate and bring forth the new year in the energy of the year. And this is what I do with people. I bring forth an awakening, a knowing, a celebration, an introduction to frequencies that assist in transformation of mind, body, and spirit.
Wow, that's very beautifully said. You know, Deborah, I noticed about these musicians, and I'm gonna call you a musician. Is that okay, Nikki?
Yes.
They are very conscious about their voice tone. You hear how smooth she sounds? Like she's gonna cut into an octave and sing to us. You know, they don't just rattle like, Martin Lawrence character. What was her name? Shanae? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they talk very intentional with awareness. And I think of all of us as musicians and having tones. Uh, how are you going to Chief Nighthawk and Nikki? How do y'all? What kind of uh, harmonic blend? And I'm thinking of herbs when you spoke, Nikki, because we're sort of like acoustical, herbal, biochemical, magnetic, soulful beings. How does herbs and sound connect?
Well, I'll have Chief answer because out of respect, he is a master of ceremony, and I have worked with him, and it was
Mm.
a most profound experience, us working together. And I would like him to, if he's open to sharing over the years that he's been working with sound in ceremony, because when I got to experience it, it touched me in such a way, and I would like him to share his perspective first.
Come on, brother. Bringing you up to the front.
Well, as Nikki pointed out, I am a master of ceremony, and in my study of ceremony, there are always around the world there are major components that are always consistent in every ceremony that I studied, which was fire, water, sound, song and dance, and some type of medicine involved. So medicine music and sound has always been a part of ceremony. Connecting, it's for one, the most known sounds or the most familiar, what people are most familiar with these days in connection with music and sound are the icaras or icaros from Peru. These are no more than just tones that have been pulled back from the other dimensions from when you're traveling or journeying on these powerful medicines. And these tones are used to for many different things. Sometimes it's used to move a person throughout their journey. Sometimes it's used to remove certain entities that have maybe be latched on to a person's body. Sometimes it's used to maybe soothe someone, you know. So it's used for a lot of things. Me and Nikki have sorry, I'm trying to hello?
Take your
Can you hear me?
time, bro. We hear you. We hear you good.
Frozen.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he got frozen for a second. Must be hot down there. Yeah, he's frozen. Okay, and Nikki is Nikki Chief Nighthawk got frozen, and he was talking about the integration of your
Yes.
services and his.
Yes, well, it is hot here. A lot of people experience an AC blackout. So that's why I have my fan here.
Oh my God.
So, but I don't mind the heat. I actually really appreciate it because it's something that also enlivens the cells. Heat is also another form of medicine. But when we work together, I would like him to finish, but from our experience, in my opinion, working together, it was him being able to sit and hold space for everyone. And also our first medicine when we come into the world is our cry, to let the world know that we're here. So I always understand that the voice is our most powerful. That's why chanting is so important and singing is so important, especially in all cultures, Aboriginal cultures. So, oh, he's back. So I'll let him finish.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I froze up for a minute.
Yeah, it wasn't your fault, man. It's that heat
No, it
down
wasn't.
there, man.
You froze
It
up
is.
too
Me
low.
and Nikki are both here. Me and Nikki are both here in Georgia, and actually my AC is out. It has
Oh,
a lot of people's AC has been burning out because it just can't handle the heat. So um yeah, so music and sound are definitely key importance into ceremony. Like I was saying before, they play a major role, and they function in many ways. Sometimes they help to like I say, we use music to maybe remove things from people, or maybe to soothe the soul, or maybe just to help a person along in their journey. Me and Nikki have worked together using psilocybin and the gongs, which
oh,
was which was a very, very profound experience. Um, we're looking to do some more ceremonies like that together. But I'm also a musician as well. My major music is the flute, which is wind.
wow.
Wind instruments, and I also play medicine drums and the didgeridoo. So I like the drums and the wind instruments. Yeah, did I leave anything out, Nikki? I think that was about
I
it. But
mean, a vast collection. He has a vast
yeah, but
collection.
music is
Yes,
great.
yes.
Music, sound, everything gives off a vibration. So sound is very, very important,
Oh,
as
listen.
far as when it comes to plants. Plants give off a vibration, so
Would you say
uh
plants?
plants also give off vibration, frequency. Everything in existence give off a frequency and a vibration.
Okay.
Everything.
I got a delivery coming in, so Deborah's going to direct the questions because if I don't have them grab my package, they grow legs over here in Brooklyn, man.
Oh, I know.
So let me just do a switch real quick, and I'll be back. Here's a headset in case you want to listen to it.
Yeah, I'm good. I can hear him.
I'll be back.
All right, go ahead. You can finish, Chief Nighthawk.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't remember where I left off, but I was just saying sound is very key. When he was saying, I guess in the relations to plants, plants and sound go hand in hand because plants are giving off a sound, a vibration, and a frequency. We also use sound and frequencies that we produce to communicate with the plants, especially different psychedelic plants. When we're taking these entheogens, sound is very important to help us throughout the journeys and to move throughout these journeys as well.
So when you're doing a ceremony and you're administering the medicine to the clients, do both you and Nikki also take the medicine, or is it just the clients?
No, yes, we both as well. As a practitioner and as my training, I was always trained that you are supposed to go in with the person you are ever serving the medicine with, because
Wow.
that's the practice. Because if you're in another space and dimension, I need to be there with you to see what's going on with you. So if you're battling something or you're going through something, I need to have total understanding as far as what's going on. So we're connected. It's like being on a ship. Ceremony is like putting people on a ship together. When you're doing a group ceremony, it's like everybody's on a ship and a vessel together. So as the captain, I'm on the water just like the passengers on the water.
Right.
I'm on the
like
boat
what you
just like
said.
the passengers on the boat.
In our community that I often think of as a function, almost like in here in America, we're like I think of it in some ways, sometimes we're wounded souls to the point that we're like a functional junkyard of a conundrum of people with multiple traumas. How can plant medicine assist in healing monkey mind traumas or traumatic memories so that, like the gong, we can all resonate on one frequency of unity? How can plants help? And
Oh, plant. They
that's
they
for both of y'all.
Yeah, how can the gongs
they they
Yeah.
they help. They help tremendously. They helped my life tremendously. Just a little bit about my story, how I got into using plant medicines. I was addicted to cocaine,
Mm.
right? So I was able to, in the process of me trying to get off cocaine. I was able to stop physically using cocaine, but what bothered me was the mental addiction. Why I continually wanted to do something that I knew was harmful to me. So at the time, we were pregnant with me and my mate were pregnant with our first child, and I was mentioning it to my midwife, our midwife, and she mentioned ibogaine to me. She said, "I believe ibogaine would be the thing that you need." So in the process of me researching ibogaine and trying to figure out how I would be able to partake in maybe ibogaine ceremony, I came across ayahuasca, and ayahuasca seemed to speak more directly to me as far as what needed to be done, as far as what I was looking to heal myself of. And so I went in the process of trying to figure out how I was going to partake in an ayahuasca ceremony. And actually a shaman came in town to my city, and I was able to sit in ceremony. So that's the universe lined everything up for me. Yes. And day one in that first ceremony, it changed my life. Like it literally changed my life. And now, over a decade later, I can kind of explain what happens, like physically, not just saying it changed my life, but physically what happens is when you encounter trauma or abuse or addictions, it creates circuits in the brain, right? And these circuits are, they light up, especially when it comes to addiction, they light up when it comes to addiction. So I had deadened some circuits in my brain and rewired my brain to enjoy the pleasure that I got from cocaine. So what actually psychedelics does is it rewires the brain properly. So I was able to rewire my brains as I was like a computer. We are just as a computer, right? So my hard drive also, I talk about purgative medicines. Purgative medicines are medicines that allow you to rid the body of certain programs, right? A lot of these programs reside in the gut through parasites. Parasites give off program information and want you to do certain things that aren't natural to the body. So we talk about purgative medicines. These medicines also are the medicines that allow you to purge these negative entities or programs out of the body. So ayahuasca was also allowed me to clean my hard drive, so to say, and also download me with proper software. There are medicines that are purgative medicines, which are hard drive cleaners and softwares. And then there are medicines that I look at as just software that you upload information onto, such as the psilocybin mushroom. Psilocybin mushroom is more like a software to me. So anybody who's familiar with psilocybin, you get a lot of downloads and mental information that goes on psilocybin, but you don't necessarily throw up or purge on psilocybin. So purging the body is very necessary. I can't stress enough how you must clean your hard drive. If you was a computer, you wouldn't download new software into a junky hard drive computer. You would have to clean that hard drive first, dump that hard drive, and then upload software onto that now cleaned computer hard drive.
Wow,
so
that's very well said, brother.
Yeah, that's just one way that it changes. It can change your life physically and mentally, spiritually. You're tapped into everything. Psychedelics, like, they help you on a threefold. A lot of people are just trying to work on the body, or sometimes just the mind, or sometimes just the spirit. You have to work on all three at the same time if you really want results.
For those who may not be aware, could you share what is, when you mention iboga or ibogaine, for the listening audience, where that medicine is?
Ibogaine is a medicine that is found in Africa, in Gabon part of Africa. It's a bush, and the medicinal part of the bush is the root bark of this bush. And the active, the plant itself is called iboga, and the active ingredients in iboga is called ibogaine. Ibogaine is what I in my experience, I like to call the God molecule. A lot of people like to say DMT is the God molecule, but if you look at the molecular structure of ibogaine, man, it's like amazing. It baffles me every time I look at it. I can understand the DMT structure, but ibogaine structure is out of this world.
Sounds almost polyrhythmic. So I'm coming over to Nikki. Nikki, how can your gongs heal broken hearts?
Well, I say that they don't, because when you think of the process of going through healing, you have to come in with the intention to do that. As medicine, and any medicine that you take, you have to have the intention to want to go through that process, as painful or as disruptive as it may be to your spirit. You have to be ready to do that. When you receive the sonic alchemy session, or when you receive gong therapy or gong sessions, my suggestion would be to go in with that intention and to allow the sounds to support you, because these traumas don't just sit here in the brain. They sit here, they sit in the seat of your soul, which I call the solar plexus, or the inner sun. For women and men, it sits in their womb space and in your cellular structure. So these traumas are encoded in us. And when you do any type of medicine or any healing work, it is always advised that you go in there with the intention of, this is what I want to focus on. And we've all had that in our lives. And some of us, it still affects us even to this day. And the one thing I can say about me working with the gong is it was great. And it brought me to a space where I knew what else I needed, because it was supporting me in my understanding, because there was nothing else in my mind for it to not in my mind to, it was allowing me the space and the resonance so that I can understand this is what I need to continue moving forward with if I want to go deeper with it. And then that's when the psilocybin came in a very deep way, because it helped me understand a lot more. And also combo, as Nighthawk was saying, the purgative medicines, and me releasing that and submitting to specific medicines helped me understand more how they're both intertwined. One, for me, does not work without the other. We love sound. We listen to music all the time. We have TVs, phones, computers. Even when the AC went out, it was a lot more quiet. So there's a lot of disruptive things going on throughout the day, along with the people and the energy that we're crossing with. So the intention has to be set in order for that to even transpire on a deeper level, because these will let you know where you are, what is actually clouding. When I sit in front of the gong, there's nothing else to hear. It's the pure primordial sound that makes you understand that there is nothing else. And really, if you want to go deeper, nothing else matters but that. And that's what gongs did for me. So broken heart, I mean, there's things that sit with my heart that I will always be working with, because I've had my own traumas, which is why the sound was such a master tool for me, because I'm also a music producer. I've been DJing for many years, and I understood the happiness and the dopamine that I was receiving from just being in front of sound. But when it came time for me to really face myself, because my traumas were starting to affect my family. So this is when the gongs came in. This is when the Tibetan healing bowls came in, or the Himalayan healing bowls came in, and the crystal bowls, and then the chimes, because there's levels to healing. You have to start somewhere, but if you want to continue, all these different sounds will help with different aspects of your being. Just as Nighthawk was saying, the wind is very moving. Animal medicine is very intentional, and the metals are also within us. So all the things that we're using is already within us and around us. So it's just where you want to go. So nothing fixes anything. It's just you that has to have the intention, and you fix yourself. Everything, including myself and Nighthawk, we're just supportive allies to our brothers and sisters that are on the journey. Can't hear you.
I had a duh moment. I'm sipping Kinkaliba tea, also known as Sihar, if I'm
Mm.
pronouncing it correctly. Uh, I was saying her voice is almost musical, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I have my voice sits in the third octave, which is very relaxing. It brings about theta waves. So I'm very intentional with my voice as well. When I have ceremony here in my home or in another space, I usually bring forth tea or my voice to help relax people. And there's a lot of environmental things as well that go along with that. But if I'm sitting here and I'm, yeah, 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 you know what I mean? It's just, it's not
Mhm.
pleasant. It's more dissident, and it
Have
makes
you
people's minds go into different places.
have you
Yes.
thought of teaching folks how to talk and use tone in communication? Because I think you would be quite busy if you're not already.
I do
Yeah.
all time. One of the three T's of communication is tact, tone, and timing.
Oh,
So
say that again,
tone,
brother.
I say the three T's of communication are tact, tone, and timing. So tone in communication is very, very important. One of my teachers, he spoke highly of tone, and he said when you're speaking to someone, speak to their heart. So always when you're speaking to someone, imagine though you're speaking to their heart, and that'll keep you mindful of the tone that you're using, because you don't want to use a negative or ill tone when you're speaking to someone's heart, because you want somebody to do that to you as well. So always be mindful of the tone that you use when you're speaking if you want proper communication.
Wow, that's deep. This is almost shamanic. So, brother,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
please share with us the common misused herb known as tobacco or mapacho and the connection with rapé, because it's starting to seem like, and I don't know if it's my imagination, people are starting to use rapé like it's cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, well, this is the thing about rape, or also pronounced hape, depending on the region or the culture you're from. What rape is it is a the base of it is mupacho, which is a tobacco. Nicotina rusta, I believe, is
Rustica.
this rustica is its name. So it is a tobacco. Uh, Mupacho is also a cleanser. It's known as the grandfather. So um, we use Mupacho in a lot of different ways. When you want to connect with Mupacho, there's a ceremony in which you drink Mupacho and you smoke Mupacho all day, all night, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
and like I was explaining earlier to Miss Bliss, is when you want to communicate with the essence of a plant, you use water. When that's why we tea things, you know what I'm saying? Because water is the conduit which allows us to communicate with the plants. So it is being misused in some respects, because hape or rape is a medicine that is a maintenance medicine, and it can be used daily, but you also want to check yourself and give yourself breaks when using it, because you don't want your body to deform a dependency upon it. Now, the people that are using the rape every day, they're probably miseducated, because yes, although it can be used every day, there are hundreds of different rape. So if you're not using the different ones in retrospect to what time of the day or what you need it for, then yes, you are misusing it. And you have tribes that use hape like 2-3 times a day, but they may use one for when they wake up to get the body going. Hunters use some that clear them out, that prepare their eyesight and their sinuses before they hunt. You have hape that you can take after you eat, that aids in the digestion. You have hape for pain. So just because you're using hape every day doesn't mean that you're using the proper hape that you need for the time of day and what you're using it for. So that's where the abuse is. It's like if you're doing hape every day, you're probably using maybe the same rapé every day, yeah, that's not what you need it for. So that's the abuse right there. I only use I smoke mupacho sometimes during ceremony, which is good for cleansing or clearing the energy from yourself or from someone. I also use mupacho to bless all my medicines before serving them because, again, it operates as a cleanser. So that's just a little bit about mupacho and rapé.
Wow, that was insightful. Nikki, could you share with us the connection with uh, mapacho in ceremonies such as, like if you're familiar, like Santeria or Yoruba? What's the importance from the African origins of tobacco?
Well, tobacco is actually native to this side of the world. So I'm not necessarily familiar in the Nigerian custom of Ifa or Yoruba custom of Ifa. There is not much tobacco, and tobacco is not used on any of the fetishes or the orisha, the icons, simply because it is a form of disrespect. However, in Santeria, Lukumi, Candomblé, Faon, Umbanda, Kimbanda, that it is used as a cleanser and a fortifier. And as Nighthawk was saying, it is referenced as a master medicine. It is a grandfather medicine. We use it with great reverence to cleanse our bodies, our oris, or our heads, to assist in cleansing negative attributes, energies, and to open and close ceremony to make sure that the energy within the room stays clear and positive. The smoke is used in the Western traditions, specifically in the Caribbean and in South and Central America, and possibly Mexico. I'm not very familiar with how they operate down there. But the way that it's been used in misas, if anyone here on this platform is familiar with misas, which I was an avid partaker of misas, which is you sit at in group ceremony and there's a lot of channeling. Tobacco is used to open and close and to cleanse off. And we blow the smoke, we turn the cigar backwards and we blow the smoke on our orisha or on our table or on any icons that we want to bless and to fortify and to cleanse to make sure that the energy stays very high. So continuing to emanate high vibrations throughout the space. So it's something that's continuous and that's used in ceremony, and also to cleanse any altars, spaces, corners, doorways, yourself, your family, and all of that. So it is a master medicine for cleansing outside and inside.
Very well said. Very well said. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Yeah. Chief Nighthawk,
Oh,
coming back to the herbs, bro.
yes,
Yeah, okay, we're touching on the gateway of mapacho, tobacco.
yes.
Tell us some of your favorite herbs that you have taken as far as a part of your life experience.
And herbs, like just plant medicines, or
Well, I'm thinking more of the
um
psychedelics.
Psychedelics. I know you're
Psychedelics.
thinking
psychedelics.
about psychedelics.
I'm thinking psychedelics, brother.
Psychedelics.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite. Just because I've worked with so many, and I've put them in a perspective of what they're used for. So I don't necessarily have a favorite. I love psilocybin. I love ayahuasca. I like Campbell. I like them all. I love them all and I reverence them all with great respect. So I don't necessarily have a favorite.
It's funny you mentioned Cambo. I was talking to Nikki a couple of days ago, and she mentioned a different way of taking Cambo. So here with all the shamans, I've always taken Cambo with drinking lots and lots and lots of water. And so
Yes.
for the first time, I heard her mention no water at all, which I was totally flabbergasted by that. So could you both, Nikki, could you explain your experience with that? And Chief Nighthawk, could you explain like how it is expected to work that way, or how it's administered, or any information you can provide for the listeners?
Well, I'll say for me, I have not experienced that yet. That is a practice that I learned of. That is something that is done amongst the Mastes tribe. And I'm still doing a lot more research on that. That is something that I'm going to be doing very soon to test it out myself.
Wow.
I don't know anybody that has done it yet, and if I do, then we haven't had that conversation. But yes, usually it is done with a lot of drinking water.
Okay.
Yes. My first experience with combo, it wasn't I didn't drink a lot of water. Through my teachings and as I learned combo, I would say that water and non-water works differently. We, as in practice, as a practitioner, you want to serve a lot of water because, again, combo is a very purgative medicine, and it can dehydrate you. So serving water is more so of a safety practice and a safety measure to keep people hydrated and also allow them to help purge the medicine out of the body. Now, I could see the benefits of doing it without any water, to say if you are specifically working on a diagnosed ailment, such as cancer, or trying to get rid of a fibroid, cyst, or tumors. And that way, you're not over diluting the body with water or the medicine. You're allowing just the medicine to enter into the body and work on that as well. But after ceremony, I would still suggest that you drink a lot of water to hydrate, because combo flushes every part of the body, every aspect of the body, from your liver, kidneys, your nervous system, your lymphatic system, your lungs, your gums, your eyes. It flushes every aspect of the body. So after that flushing, you are going to need to hydrate, because if not, you could experience some cramping, some very cramping in your muscles and your organs and things of that nature.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I'm coming back over to you, Nicky.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah, and I also want to say that Nighthawk is my teacher. So I'm a student under him, or I'm learning from him, because combo is a medicine that when I first took it, it was so powerful and amazing for me. And it unclogged things that were going on in my mind and in my spirit. Like, I felt the things that I felt from combo. It was as if I met my match. So
she loves combo. She loves combo. Let me tell you.
I do. And to hear his perspective on the dry is even more than what I was able to find online. A lot of these medicines and this information is not something that you can just research online. So it is good to find a well-qualified medicine man to go to, because these things can be very dangerous mentally and physically and spiritually. So when I sat with Nighthawk for the first time, my face was all swollen. All the wonderful results that you get from combo, and combocito is what they call it as well. And I was drinking my water and I was sitting there, and it felt like, I was going through a type of death, but then coming out on the other side, I felt so clear. And after, I also did rapé. So he familiarized me with the process that he was taught under his teacher. And I have much honor and much admiration and respect for that medicine, because anytime I do combo, it puts me back in a state of gratitude. It resets things that may have been attached to my mind or my body or my spirit. And everyone has a medicine that they're called to that they really love. And I appreciate being introduced to combo, because it has changed me tenfold. It's made me a much more clear, concise person, a better educator, less brain fog, better sleep. It's helped with wound cleaning, my chest, any ailments that I had on my skin, along with other things that I do as well. And it's a wonderful medicine. So if you don't mind purging, even with ayahuasca that I've yet to sit with, but it is also a purgative. So anything that I'm purging up, I feel that there's a lot more that's coming out than just the physical. So it's a wonderful.
Yeah. That's excellent. Coming back to you, Chief.
Yes.
Bringing you front and I'm thankful that you're on this show, even while you're having a heat wave down south.
Yeah.
music during ceremonies. Touch on
Yes.
that, please. How important is music, whether it's songs, instruments? How do those assist in plant medicine journeys?
They can assist in a lot of ways. As a practitioner, I'm an open vessel, so sometimes I'm listening to what needs to be done. Sometimes ceremony doesn't call for anything, just stillness, no music. But as in reference to using music, as I pointed out once before, it can help move a person through a hard time. Say if you're having a difficult time within your journey, sometimes I'm instructed to play certain tones and certain instruments that allow people to ease through that part of the journey. I've also used music and tones to maybe say release something from someone, such as a negative entity that may be attached to them. We use these frequencies and vibrations to rid them of that, because these entities and these negative energies, they are a lower vibration, and usually the tones that we are given to use and to play are of a higher frequency. And when you match that high frequency to that lower frequency, it usually cancels it out, and that's how we use music in ceremony. You know, it's just not a show. Some people are playing music just to be showy in ceremony. I don't play music to be showy.
Right.
I'm using music to instruct as I am instructed to play. So the tones and the things that you hear me play in ceremony are directed specifically for that ceremony. It's not. I don't have a playlist and I'm gonna play this song. I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna play this tone right now. It's not. It doesn't operate like that. So it's a spirit given thing. I know Nicky Monty. I've sat in several of her gong ceremonies. I know she operates. None of them have been the same. So I know that she's also operating in spirit when she plays as well. So we're using. We're just the conduit, and we're allowing spirit we're allowing spirit to use us to produce these tones that's necessary for ceremony.
Absolutely. Yes.
Very well said. You know, it was a pleasant surprise. Recently, I went on eBay and actually saw out of Ghana thick ayahuasca vines being sold straight out of Ghana. Special shout out to Acacia.
Yeah.
She spoke of when the continents were one.
Yes.
South America and Africa was connected. And
Yes.
when I saw that, I haven't felt urged to invest in it, but seeing the ayahuasca vine growing out of Ghana, it's like, wow, we've been duped. Just like Acacia said, we've been duped with the illusion of the separation.
Yes.
Could you touch on that some, please?
Well, like you mentioned, we were all linked together, just like the same the same red Georgia clay that you find here in Georgia, you find in Africa. We have that same dirt. So that's evidence that all the continents were once connected. Now, some of the pretty much all of the same medicines are found all over this planet. We just don't know. We haven't discovered them, or some are known by different names. And because they're known by different names, and they may not be used in the same manner, that's why they haven't been introduced or discovered on certain parts of the world. But I definitely want to speak on ayahuasca, because this is something that has been touching my heart for a minute now, and I was been instructed to speak on, and it's about the name ayahuasca. Traditional ayahuasca is a brew that is a combination of the bee copy vine, Bona pasterius copy vine, and the leaves from the tracruna bush. Again, bee copy and the leaves of the tracruna bush. Now, there are people out here using ayahuasca name to promote other mixtures of plant. You have a similar result, but it's a different plant, such as mimosa. You can use mimosa and a mixture of Syrian rue and have a similar effect as ayahuasca. I say similar because when I journeyed with mimosa and connected with the spirit of the mimosa, what she told me, she called herself Mima, right? And she said, I am ayahuasca's sister. So and we come from the same mother, which is Pachumama. So, but she teaches differently. But I know there are a lot of people using ayahuasca to serve Mima or Mimawaska, which isn't correct. We give her reverence, give her respect that she is due. Call her Mima. I'm serving Mimawaska, or I'm serving Mima, and explain to people and educate the people what you're giving them and serving them. Don't say you're serving ayahuasca and then they show up and you give them mimosa hostilius. That's improper. That's disrespectful to the plant and to yourself and to the people that you're serving. It's totally disrespectful.
I'm glad you brought this up because I have found in my exploration, before I even continue, I'm thinking of you, Nikki. We used to do ceremonies on the beach, Rockaway Beach, and it was basically on a donation basis. And the music was essentially the sounds of the ocean waves crashing. We would do it overnight. Special shout out to Steve. Special shout out to Dooley.
Dooley's
Yeah, he's in the audience. Dooley's in the audience.
what up,
And
Dooley?
and we used to stay up all night, even though we had the electronic speaker with the, the meditative music. One of the most interesting things, we would do it in part of Rockaway where the surfers would gather at sunrise to ride the waves. And what they would do literally is sort of like create a semicircle facing the ocean and just vibe into what we were doing all night, with the medicine. And my favorite at present is acacia. Special shout out to Brother Sirius.
Yeah.
He's my Tantra teacher. But acacia, the acacia plant. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement to Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibafal. I love the acacia with the Syrian rue.
Yeah.
Oh, we snowballing now.
To get up and get some.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's my uncle right there.
Yes.
Sheikh
Give a
Amadou
shout out.
Bamba.
Give a shout out.
For all of us who are interested in entheogens and also Tantra, I think of Sheikh Amadou Bamba as a master Tantra teacher.
Supreme.
And I'm saying that on air. If you really want to experience a beautiful meditation of the medicine, ask Sheikh Amadou Bamba.
Yes.
Guide your meditation, or Simeon Toko, or Yeshua, or Black Madonna Mother Mary to guide the meditation. And they will literally be like the scout that will carry you into that quantum verse. So thank you for that, brother, because that's acacia is a tree of life, burning bush of Moses, Ark of the Covenant, Noah's Ark. And I believe, and this is just instinctual, Chief and listening family, there's a connection with acacia and immortality.
Yes, it's funny you mentioned acacia because I just got received some very, very clean acacia DMT today, like acacia extracted DMT today, man. So you like right on time. Like the last little bit that I had, I actually gifted to Acacia for her birthday. Wow. And I just been replenished with some acacia that's been extracted by a master teacher. By a master teacher, and I can't wait to experience it, man.
Well, if you ever come up this way, man, or maybe we'll work out something. I am wearing acacia beads.
Just text me your address. Just text me your address.
Yeah, we're gonna do this because in between each of my beads is acacia wood from Senegal.
Yeah, I have some acacia bark, a bunch of acacia bark. So acacia waska is also a very, like you was saying earlier, acacia waska is a very powerful medicine as well. So there are three waskas. Just to backtrack, there are three waskas that I know of and that I have partaken in. That is Mimowaska, that is a combination of Mimosa hostilis and Syrian root. There's ayahuasca, which is a combination of bee copy and trichruna. And there's acacia-waska, which is a combination of acacia and Syrian root. So those three
Man.
waskas are very, very powerful, powerful medicines. If you're using either one of them, make sure you give the reverence. Don't just call them ayahuasca because they have similar effects. Make sure you give the reverence to the medicine that you are using and to that plant and that spirit. And if you want to receive something from it.
Oh, brother.
Yes. And also, quick thing, Bisa Folade, she asked, is combo the same as toad medicine? It is not.
Yes.
Combo is not psychedelic. Toad is psychedelic.
Psychedelic.
It is very.
Combo comes from the combo tree frog,
Yes.
and toad is psychoactive with one of the main active ingredients is 5-MeO DMT.
Yes.
Also bufotane, and it's smoked and it's like a DMT experience. So that comes from the Bufo alveolus ground frog, toad frog that is found in Mexico.
Yeah. I got some wonderful information about the toad medicine after I got the experience, which was amazing. And I was told that the toad stays underground for 9 months and then it comes out to mate and then it goes back in. So it is my experience with toad, and I don't know, everybody's experience is different, but I was able to go straight up and have an experience myself and the universe. So it was a wonderful experience. Combo is not like that. It's more of an sit with self type of medicine. Not that toad isn't, but combo is not psychoactive and it is a purgative. So very different. Oh, and she's journeyed on toad. So, okay. Yeah. Toad is very different.
Yeah, toad's very different.
Yes. I just want to touch on, before we come back to you, Nicky, Chief Nighthawk family, I'm having a special acknowledgement to Master Mfudisi. I had him on the show before speaking of acacia. And I'm just asking if this is okay. In the Egyptian mythology, the one who lived inside the acacia tree was Asar.
Yes.
And Heteru, the goddess of love, was born from the acacia tree. And Aset was born from the acacia tree. And the ancient Egyptian or the Kemetic depiction is Tahuti's on the left side and his feminine counterpart is on the right, Sheshat.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm just speaking for myself. And this is just subjective and intuitive. Chief Nighthawk family, Nikki, Deborah, I feel like, is it possible Sheikh Amadou Bamba is a Sar in this incarnation?
He's everything. I mean,
Exactly.
to put him as one. He was before Asar. Who was before Asar? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they take on different skin suits.
Right.
Like when I was doing ayahuasca, right, in my living room, and I was asking Nikolai Tesla technical questions on how to improve the charging of water from the cobalt blue bottles. And he gave me a suggestion, and I'm using it to this day. I asked Nikolai Tesla, who are you really? Because, we have the appearance, European demeanor. Yeah. He unzipped his skin and stood a tall, dark-skinned, bald-head black man, looking like a prince. And I said, who are you? And in the medicine, he said, I am Amenhotep. I'm telling you what he said. So I'm realizing our ascended master ancestors are like one of the books that Octavia Butler, God bless her, wrote about how you can have advanced, highly evolved spirits jump in and out of bodies, like we change shirts and skirts and jump into a different ride to match the audience that we want to elevate.
Right. See, he told you
Yeah.
he was Emotep, because
No,
of
Amenhotep.
Amenhotep.
oh yeah. I mean, he said he gave you that name because that's a name that you could vibrate with and understand. Now, imagine he could have told me he was somebody else, and still been the same energy, and just gave me a different name. So like I say, don't get so much stuck on the name as much as the energy
Energy,
and,
yeah.
and what they did. He embodied Nikola Tesla to bring this certain type of information.
Exactly.
It wasn't a name, it was an energy. We give these
Yes.
things names for association, but to give them a name and like it was just the energy. So I don't necessarily get stuck on the name in itself, because somebody will hear you say that and then they'll want to run with that. So just for the audience out there, I don't want you to get stuck on the name that Uncle Hay projected, more so than the energy that was given. It was about the information that was given to Nikola Tesla at the time to bring forth a certain creation. It's like free power. Like on one of my journeys, I received the blueprint on how the technology of how to harness a star. But I'm not a physics engineer. I'm not a physicist. And me and Acacia has been talking about this, and I've been talking to some other people. I'm not a physics engineer, so I don't know how to go about starting to build it. But I received the blueprint. So the information is out there. It has been given to a lot of people. You know, it's not about a name. It's just the energy. Once you get so far deep within, or deep with or without, either or, you reach the stream of information, or these codexes, or some are called Akashic records, whatever name. See, again, these are just names. Don't get caught up on the names. It's just stream of information. Everything that has happened, that will happen, and that has, everything is out there. The information is already out there. Everything that has happened, that's happening, and that will happen is already information coded out there. You just have to tap into it. And that's what we use a lot of psychedelics for. Psychedelics, before we start talking about using them for healing, they were more so used for exploration, to go in to gain these information and bring these technologies back. That's what we use psychedelics for evolution, for evolving the species, not for healing. We're stuck on it. We're stuck on this healing aspect right now because of the system and the society that we're living in. Yes, we need to clean ourselves up. But after you've cleaned yourself up, use psychedelics to explore, to go in, get the technology, bring the technologies back to evolve us as a species, not to hinder us as a species. You know what I'm saying? Like Steve Jobs and these other people have, they don't talk about them using psychedelics to get these informations, but they brought technologies back, not to evolve us, but to hinder us. Look at a smartphone. A smartphone it makes people dumb. It's a smartphone, but it's dumb people. When I was growing up, I could remember anybody's phone number. How many phone numbers can you remember now?
One.
You got that right.
You're
You
right.
got that right. We had a Rolodex in our head.
You could pick up a phone and dial anybody's number off the top of your head. So they came out with we're gonna smartphone and make the people dumb. So technology is supposed to evolve you. If technology isn't evolving the species, then what is it for? That's what technology is supposed to be used for, to evolve us. And that's what psychedelics are to be used for as well, is to go in, get the technology, bring it back to evolve us.
So there are people who are using psychedelics or microdosing, and they may not know exactly how to get the information that you're speaking about. What do you recommend that they would do?
First off, again, let me backtrack. Before you start to seek and explore, you have to do a certain amount of cleaning up. Before I was able to tap into some of these record halls of information and my own Akashic records, I had to do I had to go through a level of healing and cleaning myself up because I was too dense. This information is stored in a high vibration when you have to be in your light body, and light in every sense of the word. That means you can't be holding on to any negative energies or lower vibrational energies, right?
Mhm.
And also, secondly, after you've done that a certain amount of healing, then it takes higher doses, especially like psilocybin. Shouts out to one of my teachers, Kalindi Iyi, who that's what he that's what he brought to the psilocybin community is the exploration side of psilocybin, using high doses to explore different dimensions and different realms, to go in to these places, using the higher doses of psilocybin to actually read the hieroglyphs that's on the pyramids and some of these sacred sites. That's how you start to explore. When I drink ayahuasca, I don't just give a tour. I don't take a tourist like a little half a shot cup or anything. Or even when people sit with me, I don't give tourists amounts of ayahuasca. I'll allow you to drink ayahuasca, and through those higher doses, and when you're allowed to access these places of information and technologies. So if you're just microdosing, you won't get these things. Microdosing is a fairly new thing. The microdosing. Let me just say this: microdosing was introduced by the Europeans because they wanted to I guess put a band-aid on some of the people to allow them to continue to function in this society. That's what microdosing does. It just pretty much just allow you to keep functioning in this society. But if you go to higher dose, it actually breaks you from the chains of the system in society. Like microdosing it's good, and it does serve a purpose. Like if you just want hyper awareness, you're just trying to accomplish something. It's good for musicians and artists who just want to tap in a little bit. But if you're trying to explore, get information, then these things require higher doses. When I say higher doses, psilocybin, like 15 grams or more. Ayahuasca, drinking ayahuasca, like you throw up and you drink again. You just don't stop after you throw up. You keep drinking, like what we say, getting drunk off ayahuasca. It takes higher doses of these things. You can reach there on one session of Bufo. You can also reach there on a session of DMT. Those are I consider those my master teachers. So when I don't have time to sit in a full 8-hour ceremony with the psilocybin or the ayahuasca, then I'll do some DMT and go into master class where I sit in universal class, maybe 5-8 years, and come out in 20 minutes.
So you mentioned earlier about these medicines assisting with coming off of drug addictions.
Yes.
There are people who are addicted to other things, sex, gambling, etc. Would it assist with any type of addiction, or is it just more so with drugs?
They assist with any type of addiction because what they're going to do is reprogram the mind. It's going to rebalance the mind and put it back in its original state. So, and back in its original state, these things you wouldn't lust for or you wouldn't be addicted to. Mm-hmm. So once you recalibrate yourself, then you start functioning properly. That's all it is. It's just going to recalibrate you to where you'll function properly. Just like let me give another shout out to a psychedelic that really doesn't get a lot of attention that helped me a lot along my journey is Hachuma, also known as San Pedro cactus. Also known as also known as the antennae of the gods. It's a very, very connective medicine, and Wachuma is also known to been help assist people in alcoholism. It's very, very, very good for alcoholism. So if you're suffering from alcoholism, a good session of Wachuma and during the daytime outside is very, very effective. So yes, all these medicines assist in all type of addictions, all type of addictions.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Wow.
I gotta say, my co-host Baraka had his full overnight Wachuma ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
and he's in love. He's
Yeah.
now in love with
Nick-
Wachuma.
Nikki
He's in
did
love.
Wachuma. Nikki did Wachuma with me in the sweat. We did Wachuma and went in the sweat lodge. That's
Oh,
all.
that
Oh,
shit
Nikki,
was
what was your
intense. That shit
experience?
was
Yeah,
intense.
that's intense. That's
Let
intense.
me tell
Psilocybin in the
you.
sweat lodge is intense as well too.
Yeah, let me tell you about. I started whistling like a bird, and me and Nighthawk were having a communication. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
And then it was just sweating and just in this dress. I was tearing my dress up by trying to sit and fit. And then, you know, the earth is there, you know, the Georgia dirt and the clay. And then you go outside and then everything is like communicating. And
Yes.
there was a pine cone there, and it started talking to me and telling me about how much you can learn from this plant, this symbolism. And then I
Yes.
started researching pine and how it's a master cleanser, and it has so many nutritional properties. A lot of people will drink pine tea up north to fortify their systems when they're not getting enough sun. So it's so many things. And sitting in front of the fire and getting seeing my history of how many times I've come back here as an Aboriginal to do my mission work, and sitting in front of many chiefs and getting my name of who I am today. So it was very powerful, very, very powerful. And it opened my heart space. It made me purge again.
Yes.
But it was so intense, the energy between everyone that was participating. I mean, just the feeling and the knowing and the witnessing of crying and being out in nature and fire and darkness and light and all these stimulating things that make you remove yourself from things that don't serve you. And it put me in a space where I could truly appreciate nature and understand the fire and how you can look into the fire and how fire can communicate with you. Fire is like a portal. So
Yes.
this is what I was taught on just in one session. So
Yes.
Wow.
Awesome.
San Pedro is also known as the grandfather. So it's also a good backup for after ayahuasca. Traditionally, sometimes after ayahuasca ceremony, the next morning we'll get up and take San Pedro. So you'll sit with grandmother at night, and then the next morning you'll sit with grandfather, which is a great balancing. So yes,
Yeah,
shout out to
grandma.
Wachuma. Shout out to Wachuma.
Yes, yes.
We have we're going to have a guest in the near future. He's from Ecuador, and
Yeah.
he uses only 100-year-old San Pedro.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
It should be old.
Mhm. And
It should be old.
shout out to Oswald and Joanna,
Yes.
because we're gonna we'll be honored to have them talk about the medicine in the near future. Now, this is a question I have because I'm seeing this happening. The people who want to talk as if they're surrendering to the medicine, but they tippy-toeing around with a sip, but they're talking the lip. How do you deal with that, Chief Nighthawk? Somebody says, "Oh yeah, I did that medicine," but they had a spoonful.
I really don't deal with that. I don't listen to it. I mean, it's just it's comical to me. I just let it go in one ear and out the other. There's a lot of people out here saying that these medicines aren't something that you try. These medicines are things that you do. This is my lifestyle. I'll take these medicines until I die. It's written in my will. You see them on my deathbed. I want my kids to grab the mushrooms out my jar and stuff them in my mouth. This is a lifestyle. You have to do them, and in order to communicate and really receive, we do a process what we call a dieta, or dieting the plant. So like when I was training for ayahuasca, I had to take ayahuasca every day for like 14 days just to get in contact with it. So just trying it isn't enough. Just having a spoonful, yeah, you tried it, but that's not to say that you communicated it. You actually got in contact with the essence of it. Did she show you some things? Yeah, she probably did. Did she tell you something? Yeah, she probably did. But to say that you know her, you can't say that. These things are things that you do. You have to do them. You have to do them, man. You can't just be out here tippy-toeing around.
Exactly. And you know what I found, Nikki, Chief Nighthawk, Dooley, the people, if they had the opportunity to be fighter pilots, astronauts, free fallers, they're the kind of people that embrace the medicine.
Yes.
If you're not of that magnitude, or you're not ready to sacrifice your monkey mind, don't waste the medicine.
No. If you're not ready to change, you're not ready to let certain things go, give that space up to somebody else. Like you tell people, it's when people come to my ceremonies, sometimes I tell them it's 1,000 people wanted to be where you are right now.
Oh yeah.
It's millions of people. It's millions of people want to sit where you want to sit right now. They might can't get here. They might not have funds. Anything may be the case. So don't waste the medicine's time. Don't waste your time, because it is going to open your mind and it's going to shake you up. And if you're not ready to let go of certain things, change your life in a certain way, then don't do it. Just continue on about your day. Continue doing what you're doing.
Live the life of blue pill. Be the blue pill.
Right. Stop. I mean, just stop even talking about it, saying, yeah, I want to try. Just don't do it. Don't do it, because it is going to change your life.
Yeah.
It is. It's going to change your life. You can't fight it. It's going to change your life.
I really know that in my heart, I like the engineering of plants, and I like the engineering of crystals.
Yes.
Right now, everybody got a cell phone. We're using a liquid LCD screen, is liquid crystal display. Mm-hmm. And I have found in my own journey that if you sincerely reach to the crystal kingdom and the plant kingdom, they'll give you recipes.
Yes.
They'll give you a technical recipe of activation.
Yes.
As a
like
musician, Chief Nighthawk, how could entheogens help a musician with better music?
Oh, it's gonna open you up. It's gonna put you in direct communication, or in the room where all these frequencies, tones exist. It's going to allow you to hear the symphonies that are already created,
and channel it too,
and channel it back through you, and you will be able to produce it. Like that's what they're gonna do. They're very great for that. Yeah. But again, before I'm speaking to the audience out there, to people who may not be familiar with these things. Don't just get into these medicines just because you want to see a specific thing happen. Say, oh, I want to do better on my job so I can get a raise, or I want to do this. First, tap into yourself so you can be fully know who you are first. These medicines allow you to tap in so you can first get more in tune with yourself first. Don't just take them to experience all these other wonderful things. First, have, like Nikki said, the intent. What's your intent? Check yourself about your intent when you come to these medicines. What's your true intent? Because you can't hide from them, and they're gonna know, and they're gonna give you exactly what you need. And it might not be what you wanted or expected. But again, like I said, don't come around here playing if you're not ready for the change. So always check yourself about the intent and what you're doing these things for. Yes, they'll help you as a musician. Yes, they'll help you as an artist. Yes, they'll help you as a computer programmer. Yes, they'll help you as in anything, any aspect in your life. But first, do you know who you are? Because you might not even want it to help you in that aspect of your life because that ain't who you want to be no more. Once you find out who you really are.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
Yo, you now you going deep, Chief.
Hey,
Y'all
I'm a deep
going deep.
diver.
No, but it's,
you
You going in now, brother.
brother
We
Hank,
done left the beat.
it changed me. I thought that I was supposed to be something, and this is what I'm
Yep.
doing now, because
Right.
it's something that you're always connected to. So I've learned that doing the medicine, it has taught me where I lack as, or not where I can work as a parent. What is actually a program within me that I need to break so that I can be and operate in my highest being while I'm here? What do I have to share with the world? What is my purpose? And there's a lot of questions being asked. And Starseed Cess 1 or 11 says, is there a particular medicine a first timer should begin with? I'm constantly being suggested to tell people what to start with, combo and rapé, because it's wonderful to cleanse yourself out so that you can be more receptive to whatever steps that you're going to take. And what the medicine has taught me in a short period of time, even though I started at the age of 21 in the Virgin Islands, I was separated from that and my journey went completely different. It did break me away from something I was doing, but without going further and doing a lot more healing work, ancestral work, and all these different things, it took me down a path, and I was repeating my mother's life, her divorce, her problems with her children, familial issues, and all these different things, and sexual traumas and things like that. And finally, when I was able to go in deep by myself, going in on 5 grams, I was literally having a conversation with the universe, and all these intermediaries, these ascended masters and these energies came in and were asking me, why are you asking these questions? Because you know who you are. You keep coming back and you're wanting the same answer, but that's not the answer. You're programming yourself. You need to break the cycle that you put yourself in and that you accept it. So once I was able to let that go, a lot of things were able to leave me. And then all of the things that I needed came forth. So it is a very powerful journey. So to answer her question, definitely combo and rapé. That's what I started with when I first met Chief. And from there, I went further into exploration on psilocybin. And then I was able to experience Wachuma. And then I was able to experience Bufo. And then I was able to experience serpent medicine. So there's levels to doing all of this. But what I can say from my experience as a woman that has experienced sexual trauma, that has experienced the loss of a child, that has experienced traumatic divorce, homelessness, and financial issues, and all of the above, when I was able to submit to my purpose, which the medicine clarified for me, my life and my spirit was uplifted, and now I'm able to do what I came here for. So for me, the medicine helped me understand my purpose. Yes. And that is the best thing that it has offered me. So like Chief was saying, intention is everything. But when I go in and I go on my journeys, I always ask the medicine to teach me, because I am just me and my mind is limiting. I want to go as far as I can. So that's my take on it.
So you mentioned that you initially started with combo and rapé, right?
With Chief. Prior to that, I did mushrooms a few times, but never to the extent that I'm doing them now. I was introduced in St. Croix. I went to a Rastafari medicine man's house. He made a tea for me, and it was this big chunk of mushroom. And then he did an oracle reading, and I was sitting there, and the room was transforming, and everything was becoming bright. My heart became light, and he was living in a tree house, a literal tree. And I had to climb up the ladder to get into his home. And then I had to climb back down on mushrooms after we were done. And I was there with a friend of mine, and we literally looked out, and I said, this shit looks like reading rainbow. And I was so in awe that I was able to see the colors and see the beauty that the world had to offer just by being there and being present. And I was able to let go of anything that I thought was an inhibition, like holding hands with someone and being as if it's a sexual thing. I was able to hold hands, walk on the coast, and look at everything that was flying from birds to butterflies and have a real appreciation for where I was. Following that, I came back home, and without me going further and exploring what this all meant for me, without any integration, I put myself back into the same situation. So
Wow.
integration is very important too. Again, having a very formidable healer, shaman, medicine man to make sure that you understand or can speak about your experience and have a clear understanding as well. That's very helpful too. But when I met Chief, he kept saying, focus on yourself, heal yourself, work on yourself. And I started doing that. And the combo was one of those supportive mechanisms that I was brought to. Literally a week later, I was doing serpent medicine. And I met everybody. Chief said, come meet your medicine family, because I was already doing psilocybin, but I was never introduced to combo. So after doing all that clearing and cleansing, this is what presented itself the following week. So if you have the intent to actually heal yourself and go through these processes, the doors open up for you and you're able to understand better why you're here. And also bringing forth information to support yourself, your community, your family. And if it's just for you to have, it's just for you to have. But I chose being here at this time to do the work that I'm doing, and the medicine has supported me in that. I don't think about all my traumas. They're more empowering for me to share because of the things that I've walked through with these supportive allies, rather than thinking of it as a loss or something that I walked through and it hurts me. It's actually empowered me so that I could support other people without being triggered or constantly crying or thinking about other things. Having the record constantly playing on repeat. These are things that I can look back at and smile and say, wow, I'm glad I learned something. So, yeah.
So like listening to her story, that's why I like to purge the body. Like you see how she said she started with mushrooms, and then after her mushroom experience, she went back because she didn't clean her hard drive. Put some software onto a junky hard drive.
Right.
So that's why purging the body first is, to me, over my years of experience, is important. Once you clean your hard drive, then you could put information on it, such as the psilocybin or the DMT or the bufo. I don't suggest anybody start off on psilocybin, because psilocybin is generally mental. It's software. It'll work on a lot of the mental aspect. Although yes, physically it does repair mental neural passageways, but because some of these things are some of your programs are also linked to entities or parasites that lie in the body. If you haven't purged that out of the body, then all that parasite is going to do is go back in and re-damage what you just did. So you got to clean the body first.
Yeah.
So starting off with the ayahuasca, the cambo, or the rapé is recommended? All those purging medicines?
Yes.
Oh.
And even before,
and several times, not just the one time say, oh yeah, I tried that, now let me go do some mushrooms. No, clean the body. You know how I sat with ayahuasca 3 years. 3 years before I even was considered, before he even talked to me to say, hey, I want you to do this for me. Now I want you to reach out to the community and work with me and within the community. 3 years of cleaning shit up on myself. I'm a person who had been I was in the military, I've been to prison, you know what I'm saying? You know, I had a lot of trauma in my life. So it depends on where you are. Clean yourself up first. Get into your light body. And when I say light body, that's light in every sense of the word. People will say, oh, we light. A person will say, oh yeah, I'm light. But then holding on to all this negative stuff inside their body. You can't be light if you're holding on to something. It's like a hot air balloon. If you want to get higher, what you got to do? Drop one of the sandbags, or keep dropping the sandbag when you want to get high in altitude. It's just the same as you. If you want to reach higher altitudes within yourself or go deeper within yourself, you got to let something go. You got to let all these things go and get into your light body. And these things happen through purgative medicines. Purgative medicines.
Chief
Yeah,
Nighthawk. That's
Yes.
Nicky, just one thing riding on what he's saying, and I want to come back to you.
Sure.
Are you familiar, Chief Nighthawk, with Ho'oponopono?
Yes.
How important
I'm
is
sorry. And that song is a song to yourself.
how helpful is Ho'oponopono and forgiveness in medicine?
Forgiveness, that we sing that song in medicine ceremonies because it's a song that you're singing first off to yourself. You're saying, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me for all the things that you've done to yourself. You're the only catalyst in this world is yourself. Everything reverts back to you. It starts with you. Your world projects out everything that manifests, everything that you see, it starts with you. So you start with yourself. Ho'oponopono saying, I love me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me to yourself. And then it starts, and once you started singing it to yourself over and over again, then it starts to project outwardly. Then you start to tell the people outside of yourself, I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. But you have to, that song, Ho'oponopono, starts with self. It's a song to self first. Always remember that.
Well said, brother. Well said. Please, Nicky, share
Oh
what you're
yes.
about to drop.
Yes. So the one thing that I was told when I was researching some information when my child passed, and there were two things that I was faced with that I had to make a choice for in my research, because I felt that the things that I saw after he transitioned was so amazing. It just snapped me out of Christianity. And this was 2007, so it's about 15 years. And not that I was a deep Christian or anything, and nothing against anyone, but when you witness certain things, you either look at it from, oh, that's a dark entity or a demon or whatever, or I looked at footprints in the hallway, and me, my mother, and my sister all witnessed it on carpet. And it was at all of our doors. And then it was down the hall, and then it was throughout the house. And the same size. I mean, I put the shoe down and everything, and it made me think about, well, if that's the case, then where is my child? Where is his spirit? What is here that's animating this, that's making these footprints come up like this? And then I started doing research, and I came across two bits of information. I came across Orisha, and specifically Obatala, and then I came across Aboriginal indigenous information from the Taino, the Arawak, the Cherokee, and everything that happened. But something brought me to this energy of Obatala so that I can fortify myself and have peace within myself. And when a lot of people go down these journeys of spirituality or trying to understand certain things, not to say that their path is mine, everybody's is different, but ancestors are very important in helping you fortify yourself and to find what works for you, because our ancestors have done things already, and it's the connection that we have to our ancestors that's already running through us, all the encoding, all the genetic material, all the experiences. I was brought to specific medicines because my ancestors did those medicines. And now I'm doing more than what they've done. And after I went through the cycle of Orisha and learned as much as I could, they stopped me, or not stopped me. They said, we're present here. We're here for this purpose. Now you need to go and research this, because this is where you're going to find your tribe. This is where you're going to find information on how to do deep healing. This is where you find what we did. And then I prayed, not prayed necessarily, it's more like a conversation, because I don't really pray anymore. I just call upon energy and it presents itself if needed. And what happened in that is that I didn't know I was following certain people that were doing medicines. And my family on my mother's side is from Alabama. My father's side is from Puerto Rico. Little did I know that Chief was here in Atlanta, and I've been here for almost 5 years. And I've been looking for this energy for so long, but it took me to have a conversation with my ancestors to bring forth somebody that could teach me and assist me on my journey that was familiar and understanding and open. So always keep in mind that your ancestors are going to take you to where you need to go, and to communicate with those that communicate with what resonates in your genetics, in your ancestral DNA. Because without that, we're going to go on journeys that may not be meant for us. So everybody is not meant to do everything. I noticed that there's some medicines that were presented to me that I wasn't called to. But when they were presented and it felt right, it did. And it actually aligned with what I needed to do for myself. So always remember your ancestors and
Ashe.
and keep them in mind, because they, and not all of them. I mean, I know that all my ancestors, they all had problems, circumstances, and situations like the rest of us, but call on those that are of light, that are supportive, that they present themselves, or that they communicate with you, or those that you actually loved. Start there and then let them take you on that journey. And then you'll see things start popping up. People, places, circumstances, and situations that support you and that teach you and that make you work for what you need. So that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you for
Well,
that.
this work that we do, it cleans up generations, 7 years prior to you and 7 years after you. So so the work that you're doing, just to let Nikki know, you can call on all your ancestors, because if you're doing work, you're cleaning up generations of ancestors. So regardless of what they went through, good is no such thing as good or bad. They went through what they went through, and if it was something that needed to be cleaned up or maybe hindered them from being light, then the work that you're doing is making them light. So always remember that you can call on any of your ancestors, because they're all in you.
Right. Well, I guess we have slight different teachings, because there's some things that I was taught, that if you're going to call on these ancestors, to make sure that you're fortified in some space, because some of them are very hardened spirits and they will come through and they will affect you. So then again, that's how you call upon them. So yeah.
I'm saying and that comes from a teaching of my
Yes.
teaching is that we clean up for our ancestors. Just like if you have financial karmatic debt, you have to clean up because of I've had to go through that I had to clean up because of one of my ancestors. So that's just the difference of teaching. My teaching now, we clean up for our ancestors. So all my ancestors are light. All of them are good. And the ones that ain't, I'm still doing the work for them and pushing them into that place.
Right.
So I can call on them. So I'm have strength in numbers.
You know what? I'm gonna share this, and this is I don't know if I'm drawing from a ancestral memory, but my ancestors who was cremated, I was guided to actually put their ashes inside a pyramid.
Oh, wow.
And one day when I was cleaning up and I took the pyramid off one of my ancestors' ashes, took it off, they came to me immediately and said, put that back on. And I come from a family of on my father's side, heavy drinkers, dying from alcoholism. And I sense, and I don't have any proof, Chief Nighthawk and Nikki and listening audience, but it seems as if having their ashes, which is still spiritually connected with them, being under the pyramid is helping to heal their soul. And I'm just putting that out there from my personal experience.
Yes.
That sounds good, because it sounds right because of the energy that you work with. So it seems as if that's something that would have been in your line already, these sciences. So before I had 5 gongs, I had a 10-foot pyramid in my room that I was working under. It had a super 7, selenite, clear quartz, labradorite, everything was in there. And what I noticed is the efficacy of the work within the pyramid was tenfold. It was very, very charged up, and it would continue to circulate. But what I did learn is that when you're working with that type of energy in a healing space, it has to be grounded. So because my space is on the second floor, I had to take it down. And there's some type of grounding cord that has to be connected to that pyramid, because when you're doing that type of work, the energy can be dispersed and it can become very erratic. So pyramid power is very, very serious. And that's a good thing. I would love to experiment with that because I have ashes in my closet. So I may try that.
Yeah, and I'm sharing it for that reason, and
Let me
see
grab a
how
charger, guys.
Mhm.
I got to step out for a minute. Go ahead.
sharing that so that perhaps if you hear the call, maybe perhaps it'll be helpful for our ancestors and the love connection with our bloodlines.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
Lester Loving spoke of the crystal structure of the blood is pyramids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nikki, is it possible you can give us a sample of that gong action you got behind you?
Yeah, sure. But I wanted to share a few other things before I do that, because
Sure.
I was called to give a little bit of history of what these instruments do that I do work with. So I work with the flute. I have a drone flute which has two holes rather than one, and that produces F sharp in the key of 432, or in the octave of A432. So 432, 440 is the science behind that. And it's just a slight tweak, and one is more stimulating than the other, more entertaining, more uplifting, and the other one is more calming and soothing. So I have this right here, which is my C bowl, and it's in the key of C248. And this is a set of 7. But a lot of people don't understand the history of these bowls, and there's no real right or wrong way to use them. But when you're using these bowls, I want everyone to keep in mind that you don't just hit them, because it is a sine wave, it's a pure tone. These frequencies cut like a knife, so you have to be very intentional. And also, when people say chakra, kakra bowls, um, I have yet to find the science of how they got the solar plexus to resonate at a specific frequency, and then they put it in the form of a bowl, because it
Mm.
is an energy center. So I don't call them chakra bowls. I just call them crystal singing bowls. And so when you see people and they say, this is chakra, this is this is that, if that's the science that they work with, that's fine. But these bowls are about 42 plus years old. The science was that there was something that was being made in a lab, and then these bowls came out as a mistake. They decided to utilize them, and then they started using them for healing purposes. So they're not made out of crystal. They're made out of silica, which is sand. Ultimately, it's just a glass bowl. There are different types of bowls called alchemy bowls, which are infused with specific crystals to bring forth specific energy, like amethyst or fluorite or rose quartz and things of that nature. Um, but these bowls I use to start off my sessions. So I play these as a gateway, because it starts to cut through things and make space for what else is to come next. And usually what comes next are these. So these are my Tibetan healing bowls, or Himalayan healing bowls. Um, the monks use them to bring forth Dharma. So Dharma is your purpose. So when you're ringing the bells, which they're really bells, they're not bowls, but we call them bowls because of the way they're shaped. When you ring this, it helps you understand your purpose. So this is what these bells were made for: to stay within a high frequency and to call people forth to their purpose, instead of walking a karmatic life with all of these issues, circumstances, and situations because you haven't cleaned yourself up. This is a constant reminder that there is a purpose that you have, and you don't have to walk in a karmic state.
Mm.
So this is what I go through also in my sessions. And you can place these bowls on the body and allow the frequency to go into the body, and that's called vibroacoustic massage. So you can take it and you can move it on the body and hit it and ring the bell,
Mhm.
so that it's not, you slide it across the body, but on a body with clothes, obviously, or you can just set it there and you can let it rain. And I like to place my bowl, a much larger bowl, on my stomach area, because it helps remove things, because the first mind for me is here in my gut and in my stomach, my intestines. So to eliminate things and to assist in clarity and fortification of my being, I like to work in the stomach area. But Miss Bliss, we were talking about these the other day.
Yes.
Yes.
Please
So-
talk about those. We have some
Yes.
people who have purchased those and who work with those. So
Right. So this is a tuning fork. Specifically, this is a weighted tuning fork. And on the bottom of it, there's an amethyst boot. So this is at 64 hertz. This is when you start getting into in deep muscle tissue and the first layer of bones. You're not getting into the marrow. This one specifically I utilize frequently because it helps to really open the gateways for receptiveness. It brings forth nitric oxide. So nitric oxide is something that when you hit yourself, or let's say you get a frog, that's what we call it, when you hit yourself and then it lifts up.
yes.
That's nitric oxide. So those are your cells coming to a space where there's trauma, and it starts, the white blood cells rush up in there and they start doing their healing work. In essence, this is what these forks are doing. And they're also talking to your nervous system. So using them in the right way is very important, specifically on the spine. You want to stay away from the thoracic, which is the center of the spine. You want to stay close to the top of the head, and in the bottom, in the sacrum area or the pelvic area, because you don't want to lock anything up. The thoracic area is more where your sympathetic nervous system is, which has things firing. So you don't want to stimulate more firing. You can up somebody's heart rate. You can have overactive kidneys or liver.
Wow.
And if somebody's going through something where they need healing, there's only specific times where you would work in that area. And this one specifically, I like to use in my craniosacral area. A lot of chiropractics, and in the science of chiropractics, they have an understanding that the bones are always moving. Nothing is ever still. And if we understand frequency, we know everything is always moving. So there's minor bones around your pineal, your pituitary, around your ears, in the back of your head, even your spine is always vibrating. So these tools help support immensely with the space that is created so that they can function properly and you can become in a relaxed state. You're activating your parasympathetic nervous system using these tuning forks properly to get people in a relaxed state. And if you do Reiki or if you do any type of crystal healing, these are amazing because it helps your client get into that relaxed state and become more receptive to their healing. Now, when you use this when you're on mushrooms, it's another level. It's really a gateway opener. It is. I've done it to myself and to some clients, and it's really a gateway opener, specifically at the crown energy center or first eye or throat, or even in the pelvic area, specifically for women on the hips. You can, if they don't have any, let's just say, in injured discs or places where there's joints or anything like that, or any recent surgeries or any metal in their body, specifically metal. You want to avoid metal completely. If you can get here in the pelvic area, and if they're confident and okay with you placing that there, it helps so much with womb healing. It helps a lot with fibroids and allowing things to break up, to separate, and to help you have a better understanding of why it even came, or dis-ease or discomfort came to that area in the first place. So I use these often, specifically this one because I love deep tones, and it supported me, mind, body, and spirit. This was actually one of my first tools. And if anything, this is my master tool because it has made me cry. It has made me release. It has made me do a lot of things. So sometimes the smaller things or the minute things are the most powerful. So don't sleep on these, but be mindful of how you use them. And if anyone has any questions, they can contact me through my website. I'll be more than happy to share. And what else do I have? I have chimes. So this is a koshi chime, and this is made from bamboo. In Asia, they attribute bamboo to much peace, prosperity, and happiness in their life. So I intentionally purchased this, and also it's a plant for Obatala. So because I work with that energy very heavy, I like the fact that I have bamboo, because when you hear it,
It sounds beautiful.
yes, yes. So it's very heart opening if you accept it in that way, and it allows for a lot of release when you go through the sequence within a sonic alchemy session or in any session. A lot of people like to end with the chimes or tinctures, which are like two small symbols that you cling together, and it helps you come back into your state or to go deeper into other states of transition when you're going through sound sessions. But I have this, and I don't know how it's going to transfer over on on camera or through YouTube. What I would suggest is if people wanted to come back and listen to this, to listen with headphones, simply because it's not going to transfer over with just a regular phone. It may sound very scratchy. So
Okay.
if you want me to proceed, I will.
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me see. And then also with this tool, there's many different mallets. Hold on one second. There you go. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
My phone is vibrating. I'm sorry. Let me move that out the way. So these mallets specifically bring forth different energies, or different frequencies. So if you use a smaller mallet, let me do like this. If you use a smaller mallet, this is very small, but it is very hard. So if I was to play this, it will bring out higher tones. This is hard, but it has more cushion in it, so it brings about more deep tones. And also this one, because of this type of gong specifically, it is like a subwoofer. Of all the gongs that are made, this is the deepest gong that you could find on the market. Because we love bass, because we love low tones and frequency, even the music that we listen to, there's lots of bass in there. Bass is something to hit the root energy center, the gonads, the womb, the sexual organs, and things of that nature. It's very stimulating.
Wow.
But you can utilize these tools to assist in breaking that program, because that's where a lot of us sit. So it's kind of like you have to start from the ground up so that you can elevate. And that's why I have all these different frequencies, because it's levels to going up through a session. So let me take my rings off, and then you let me know if you can hear everything okay.
Okay.
I need to be louder or anything like that.
Okay. I could hear that. Could everyone in the chat hear it?
Yeah, please let me know.
Yeah, can you guys hear that in the chat? I could hear it.
Liz, trust. This doesn't do anything justice. This is a live thing. You got to be there live to experience it.
Yeah,
you can't. It's very hard, yo. It's
Be
very
there
hard.
live with the gongs and the medicine, of course.
And the medicine, man. That's the only way to experience it.
Oh yeah. So I'll see if this will come off over, but this is very, very, this is the most difficult instrument to record of all time. It's not easy at all. So if it does translate, or if you do feel it, that's great. But always try to present yourself in person when it comes to any type of sound healing. It's really, really important, because it will never transfer over the way it does in person. Let me turn this down. All right. Oh, and another thing is I never hit the center. The reason why is because this is where they start making the gongs. So it's the most shallow, sensitive part that can be destroyed. So if you are going to hit the center, be very gentle. unless it's a nipple gong, and the nipple gong has a protrusion and it literally looks like a nipple. So you definitely hit the center of a nipple gong, and those come from Indonesia, Bali, Thailand. But once you get to the mainland in China, or even in Shanghai, or even parts of Tibet, most of them look like this. They're flat face. So you have to be careful with the center. That's it.
Nice. Yes, yes. Beautiful. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you.
I missed it. Do it again.
No, no.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
very
goodness.
intense, even sitting in front of it. I have to, you have to remember to breathe when you're in front of these instruments, because it's like bass in your face. And it literally, I feel heat in my chest from just sitting there, like right here. Because, and this is also an area that I'm working on a lot. I'm always trying to work on being more compassionate, more kind, how to deliver my message so that people can understand better and not have fear and all these different things. But if you're sitting in front of it, and I've had a lot of people sit in front of them and offered them the opportunity to at least hit it one time, it brings forth so much clarity, peace, blessings, and a knowing. It's really, really deep. And I'm very grateful to have these allies in my home. These are, for me, and how I look at them, we have conversations because I understand them, and they are living energies and entities. They talk to me. They let me know who wants to come when I go do ceremonies or sessions out of the house. Sometimes it's just one, sometimes it's all 5 or 4. Sometimes the stand doesn't come with me and then it's just 3. But the way that they communicate, because they are frequency, because they are us and we're them. So there's nothing that separates sound, So if we're all in alignment and we're doing what we need to do, it's going to talk to you because it has a voice. And this voice is very powerful. It hits you right in your chest. That's why I call it grandfather, because as Sheik was telling me with the medicine, you don't just run up on grandfather's porch. You really have to be gentle and take your time. But this gong screams a lot. So when you're going through something, even playing it based on what you're going through, it will talk to you and let you know. It's like a mirror. It will talk to you and let you know, you need to work on this. You're not happy. Look at what's coming back to you. This is what you need to work on. So
Wow.
it's a very powerful tool. So
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I said thank you for sharing. I'm going to go back to the remix. But what I wanted to share with Chief Nighthawk and you, Nikki, and also the audience, In my recent exposure to Yopo, I found that in research, and I like the medicine of Yopo.
I
It's
love
in
Yopo.
it's in the acacia family.
Yes,
Chief Nighthawk, touch
I
on that,
love
please.
I love Yopo. Yopo comes from a seed. Well, the Yopo that we do is produced from a seed. It's in a grounded powder form, and it's administered the same way as rapé is through the nose. We normally use rapé in conjunction with ayahuasca or any of the huascas because it does need a MOA to help it activate. So it's very good. It's a very good medicine to use in conjunction with ayahuasca. What it does, it allows one to go deeper within their experience. Even just by itself, it's a very, very powerful medicine. The active ingredients in it is also 5-MeO DMT, such as the toad. So that's the first. That's the first 5-MeO DMT that we were using before the toad was introduced to us. It came from the Yopo seed.
Whoa, that's
Yeah,
deep.
and
Drop it, brother.
yeah. So that's the form of 5-MeO DMT that we was using before the toad was introduced. It came from the Yopo. Yopo is another medicine that doesn't get a lot of praise and attention for the powerful that it can do, but it is a master teacher as well.
Oh man, that's my best friend too now.
Yeah,
Yopo, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
we actually attended a retreat recently, and so the way they administer the medicines, they had them all lined up. The majority of the medicines that weekend were for the heart chakra and the throat chakra. And
yeah.
so Yopo was one of the medicines, Campbell was one of the medicines. And I think, like you said, he probably wanted to clean out all our trash that we arrived with
Right.
before, because I was like, why is he giving us Campbell first? But now that you're
That's
talking
why.
about it, I
Right,
kind of understand. He knew we were coming with a lot of baggage and who knows what
right.
else attached to us.
That's right.
Mm.
Got to erase that
Now,
chalkboard first so I can write something on it.
one question comes to mind. Has there been, well, I'm going to find out because I'm going to go do that Wachuma ceremony, but I feel like when I have Yopo, it stays in my system. I can feel Yopo for days
For
after, bro.
days. Yes, days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It does. It like five MEO. It I guess it not I guess, but it attaches to the DNA. That's why you feel it so long. So it goes to the DNA
Yeah.
level.
Say that
This is
again, bro.
yeah. When you're dealing with five MEO DMT, the molecule 5-MeO DMT, that's when you're working with your DNA. So that's why you feel the effect so long. So that's like why Bufo, you don't have to do Bufo, so often because Bufo and Yopo, it stays with you so long because it's reaching down to the DNA level of yourself.
Yeah, bro, because there was a lot of, I was talking with our brother Steve, and a lot of people who were working with Bufo got the message they don't need it no more and don't serve it no more.
Right.
It's just like, because like, as much as I love the Bufo and going into it, I finally heard it say, don't come back until I tell you to.
Until I tell you to, that's one of those things. That's why I say it's like a master teacher for me. You know what I'm saying? I work with it a little bit more periodically than some do because I'm a medicine man. So just to stay in tune with it, but just the average person, I mean, it could be a once in a lifetime thing because of just how powerful the medicine is. And like I said, what it actually does physically is restructure the DNA. So when you're talking
Yeah.
about DNA, it's like it's a part of you now.
Yeah.
Like combo works down to the tissue level, right? Snake medicine or snake venom medicine works down to the cellular level, right? Then the 5-MeO DMT works all the way down to the DNA level.
Wow, great breakdown.
Yeah, man, that's an excellent master to make it simple. Because I
Yeah.
actually feel like my thinking has been tuned up with the Yopo.
Yes.
You know,
It's a third eye.
my
It's definitely
walk.
a third eye. Definitely a third eye medicine.
yeah, I actually feel like it shifted my paradigm
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yes. Yes. Totally.
Yep. And I like the fact that it's in the Acacia family because that's like, oh yeah.
You like that acacia?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta hook you up with some acacia beads, man. As an artist, I know you can rock and roll. So we're gonna talk after the show. Don't y'all jump off the show. We're coming up on the second hour.
Quick question about that beautiful headdress you have on, brother, please.
Okay. Yeah. Let me talk about headdresses. Headdresses are a part of. This is a piece of technology that I actually brought back. Like being native, I had and my family kind of strayed far from their native heritage. I was the one in the family to come back and to try to restore my heritage natives within my family. And the headdress is a piece of technology. This is technology that we use to as antennae communication. It's just not a costume that you wear. It's actually a piece of technology. So I, through psilocybin, channeled the information to build headdresses.
Wow.
I create headdresses. This right here is made from a full adult red tail hawk.
Wow.
This is my daytime ceremony. A lot of my ceremonies are, a lot of my headdresses are for ceremony that I can't wear only but in ceremony. This is my chief ceremonial headdress made from a complete owl.
Wow. How beautiful.
Yes.
Whoa. You know, this looks, I could tell the Landmasters was one because this looks like King Tut's headpiece with a design, very similar to the pharaonic headpiece, brother.
Yes. Well, it started here. Let me explain it to you, brother Hank. It started here. When I know we love Kemet because Kemet is still standing and it holds a lot of the information, but that started in the Americas.
Yep.
That information is. Do you know there's over like 1,800 mounds and pyramids located here in the Americas, and there's only 800 in Africa. So,
bro.
The technology started here. So that's why it's similar. It is us. It's all the same. It's no different. It's no different. It's all the same.
To know that information.
Yeah, we got to drop it, bro. And special shout out to our brother Phil Valentine who revealed that Mohawk out on Long Island, Montauk Point, they had pyramids on the beach until the Army Corps of Engineers took them apart.
Right here in Georgia, we have I think 3. Like one of our biggest mounds, which is a pyramid, it used to be a landfill. Now they've turned it into a solar power plant. But that's what the largest one that's here in Georgia is, a power plant now.
Is that the Etowah Mound?
No, not the Etowah. This one right here sits off Moreland Avenue.
Oh, that's right.
It used to be the Atlanta landfill, and they turned it into a solar power plant. That was the largest mound. Atlanta here in Georgia was the epicenter of power. Out of all throughout this region, the epicenter of power sat right here in Georgia. So all people used to migrate here at a certain period of time to congregate and to get things done. This is where the epicenter of power were. Now, when it came to all the medicine men and all the priests and priestesses, we met up in St. Louis in the mounds that's in Missouri. I think St. Louis. Yeah. All those, like, they have like maybe 300 mounds up there. That's the epicenter of power where all the medicine people met at. Every so often. So we have historically mounds and pyramids throughout the Americas. This is our technology.
And most of them were east of the Mississippi as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Mississippi is the Nile.
Chief, go ahead and tell them about the Egyptian city found in the Grand Canyon and the Smithsonian blowing the entrance.
Well, we ain't gonna. Well, it's Smithsonian's controlling all the information. I don't believe the Smithsonian. Period. They the ones who are hiding our history and our information. So anything that they release is pretty much false. It's negative because they're concerned with their own timeline. Their timeline doesn't match our timeline. So I don't even mention the Smithsonian. Don't listen to them. You take your psilocybins and read your own Akashic records and the information. I use psilocybin as Google.
Oh yeah.
When you want to know something for real, go in on 10 grams of psilocybin and then you find out for real if you want to know, because it was the first entheogen on this planet.
For sure.
So it contains all the information to everything on this planet, every tree, every molecule, everything that transpired on this planet. It has the information of it.
Excellent.
Absolutely. We definitely got to get you guys up here to New York.
Yeah, let me know.
I'd love to see you guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Spirit of Ubuntu.
Or get y'all down here to Atlanta. What's up?
Oh, hey. Well, y'all last retreat was on the same day as our retreat, so
see, we need to get y'all down here because one of the major components that New York is missing is nature. So we gonna get y'all into some nature. You know what I'm saying? Like being outside. Y'all doing a lot of the things inside. We need to get y'all down here outside into some nature doing some things, you know?
Man.
So wait a minute. You're not gonna have us hiking up in the mountains, are you?
I might have y'all doing all type of things. See, you see where your mind at already? Right. No, especially as a woman. Women need to definitely get more in contact with nature. Y'all should spend a lot of time outside. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta get y'all New Yorkers down here to nature, and then
give
y'all
me a shovel. I'll start digging into the hollow earth down there in Georgia, man.
Right.
I'll be right there
Take
with
that back up north and spread it amongst the people. But we're gonna get y'all down here to Atlanta. How about that?
Yes, absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
sit around the fire pit.
Chief,
yes.
I just gonna put up. Y'all look at his headpiece and look at this. Y'all see the connection?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Look at it again.
Those
look
serpents.
How it falls on his shoulders.
Serpents.
And look how it falls on his shoulders.
Even to the piece in the middle of his head.
Yep. Look at that, y'all. Can't make this up. I had to do it.
Information.
Information. Yeah. Yep. Information.
And the Micmac language from Montauk Point of the Mohawk Indians is a Atlantean dialect. So we are one.
All day.
I'm ready to wrap
That's why
it up.
I tell people, let's stop getting caught up on these names and places. We from a planet. We circumnavigated this planet before anybody had traveled to any of these lands. So we a lot of us spend so much time saying, "Oh, we from here. We from this planet. Can we live on this planet and get out of the names of if you're melanated, we family." You know, get out of where we from and recognize where we at. Most of the melanated people got to understand. First off, this your land in the Americas, because if you can't tap into that where you at first, then we can't excel in power, man. It's time to take this land back, this planet. Exactly. This is a planet. It's a planet thing. This ain't a land thing. It's a planet thing.
Yep. All right. I want to thank you, Chief Nighthawk. I want to thank you, Nicky Monty. Because I'm so ready to call you Nicky Gong.
That's running deer.
I want to thank all the listening audience. I posted in the chat, in the show description, your bios from your websites and your information.
So they can reach out.
Feel generous in your hearts to donate to our guests tonight, Nicky Monty and also Chief Nighthawk. And thank you, everyone, for being a part of this show, Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. Say often, yes, I am. Supreme shield of protection surrounding me. Yes, I am. Yes, I am remembering all I was born to do. Yes, I am. Take hold of your crystal, which will magnify your I am affirmations at least 600%.